So, hello, we'll start the class. I think the last topic that we were doing was pseudo force. We were discussing pseudo force and we had seen what is pseudo force and when do we apply these pseudo forces. When do we apply these pseudo force? Whenever we are making the equation of a body from a non-inertial frame. Do we remember this? Can I have some raise hand that we understand this? Pseudo force. Yes or no? We understand this. I think we had done questions also based on this. Yes, okay. Sir, in the last class we were discussing about inertial. No, beta, we were discussing about inertial and non-inertial frame, and I think we had also discussed pseudo force and how to solve questions on pseudo force, isn't it? No, is that so? Let me have a look. I think we were discussing pseudo forces. Just let me have a check. Just wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'll just check what was the last NLM lecture 15 and 17. What we were doing in those lectures. Let me see. When the string. No, we did not discuss pseudo force. Which class did I discuss pseudo force? Lecture 14. Just wait a minute. Let me just recollect. Discuss pseudo force. No, I discussed pseudo force, I think. Abhiram, did we discuss pseudo force in the last class? I think we discussed it. Isn't it? We discussed pseudo forces, discuss how to do questions on pseudo force. Yes or no? Let me have a look. Just the starting, sir. Just let me just check from my PDF that I would have made. Let me see what I was doing. I remember correctly that we were documents. Okay. ABC class need. Okay, it is not there in my thing. Just the starting, sir. No, sir. I, I can't forget what I was doing in the class. I know we are your need students. Discuss. Discuss that. Okay. Okay. I discuss pseudo force, how to apply pseudo force. I gave you that thing. Okay. We were discussing some problems on inertial reference frame. No, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, actually, my laptop went bad, so I could not send you the lecture of the last class. That is the reason that you are saying this. I think we had done. I saw lecture number 16 and 17. Because my laptop was not working, so I could not send you lecture number 18, which we had already discussed. And what we had discussed was pseudo forces. I remember very correctly. Can't remember it wrongly because those JEE students are one or two class behind you. So I could not have taught them pseudo force. Anyways, you are saying that we have not discussed. Well, Then let us just go back and just take this class as a revision class. We were discussing about inertial and non-inertial reference frame. Let me quickly go through this. What are inertial reference frame? Tell me then. What are inertial reference frame? Any reference frame which is at rest or moving with any reference frame which is at rest or moving with a constant velocity with respect to another inertial reference frame. Now, with respect to another inertial reference frame. Now, to find out any inertial reference frame would be very tough because we'll have to go to a place where you will not experience any force. You probably will have to go in space to a place where there are no planets, no stars, no galaxies. Probably you'll not be experiencing any force over there. That would be a perfect inertial reference frame. But for all practical purposes, which inertial frame is which frame is taken as an inertial reference frame? For all practical purposes, we can take take what? For all practical purposes, we can take Earth or ground. Earth or ground as inertial reference frame. So for all practical purposes, you can take Earth or ground as an inertial reference frame. Now, if you take Earth or ground as an inertial reference frame, then any body which is at rest on ground or which is moving with a constant velocity with respect to ground. For example, let us say this is ground and there is a gentleman, Abhiram, standing here. If this gentleman Abhiram is watching anything from his frame himself, this Abhiram becomes an inertial reference frame. If now Abhiram starts to move with a constant velocity v, then also he becomes an inertial reference frame, because any frame which is at rest or moving with a constant velocity in physics, rest and motion with constant velocities are same, because in both cases acceleration is zero. There is no force acting on the body. Am I clear with this inertial reference frame now? And I'm still not convinced that I did not teach you this. Shall we move ahead? Can I have some raised hand that we understand this? Okay. So anything at rest or moving with a uniform velocity is an inertial reference frame. Then what is the other type of reference frame? The other type of reference frame now is known as non-inertial reference frame. Non-inertial reference frame. Now, what is this non-inertial reference frame? Here, again, we are assuming that Earth is a inertial reference frame. So any reference frame moving with an acceleration with respect to Earth, which is taken as an initial reference frame, or any other inertial reference frame. So if you find something accelerating with respect to Earth, we can call it a non-inertial reference frame. If you are in a bus which is accelerating, it's a non-inertial reference frame. If you are in a train that is accelerating, it is a non-inertial reference frame. If you are in an aeroplane which is accelerating, it is a non-inertial reference frame. Or in general, you can say any reference frame which is not inertial reference frame. If it is not an inertial reference frame, then it becomes NIRF, non-inertial reference frame. Do we understand this? Any reference frame which is not inertial becomes non-inertial reference frame. So there are differences between inertial and non-inertial. In inertial reference frame, the body is at rest or moving with a constant velocity with respect to inertial reference frame. Here it is going to accelerate. Am I clear? Can I have some reason that we are clear with this? Okay. Now, one more thing differentiate between the two. In an inertial reference frame, Newton laws of motions are valid. All Newton's laws of motions are valid in an inertial reference frame. Whatever laws we have studied, Newton's first law, second law, third law, they all remain valid. They should remain valid. They are laws. But you must understand, and you would understand that because you have studied physics, you have studied chemistry also. In chemistry is all about exceptions. In chemistry, instead of knowing the law, you must know the exceptions to the law. Whatever law they have made, there are exceptions to it. In physics, exceptions are very rare, but in some cases, exceptions are there. Newton's laws are not valid. Newton's laws of motion in their original form. Why am I making spelling mistake? Newton's laws of motion in their original form are not valid here. Newton's laws of motion in their original forms are not valid. To make them valid, what we need to do? To make them valid, what we need to do? We need to apply what? Additional, unreal, imaginary forces, which are known as what? Which are known as pseudo force. To make Newton's laws of motion valid, we have to apply additional, imaginary, non-real forces. They do not exist. These are not real forces. Tension is a real force. Whenever there is a string, there is tension. Gravitational force is a real force. Wherever you have a large mass, you will have gravitational force. But the pseudo forces are unreal. They are not real. And that is why if you are making your equations from a non-inertial reference frame, you will have to apply these pseudo forces. Am I clear? Am I clear with this? Okay. Now, how do I understand these pseudo forces? So let us write the heading, pseudo force. What are pseudo forces? Pseudo forces, PF, P for pseudo, are imaginary forces. Are imaginary forces applied. When do we apply them? Tell me. Applied when equations of motion are made from a non-inertial reference frame. You only apply these imaginary forces when you are making your equations from a non-inertial reference frame, because in an inertial reference frame, these forces will not make any sense. They are not applied. Why are we applying these forces? To make what? Newton's laws of motions valid. Else, these Newton's laws of motions remain invalid. Do we understand this? So you only apply pseudo forces to make these Newton's laws of motion valid when you are making your equations from a non-inertial frame. Now, since these pseudo forces are forces, these are vectors. So these are vectors. Pseudo force is a vector. So it must have two things. It must have a magnitude. It must have a direction. What is the magnitude and what is the direction of a pseudo force? Anyone? I think we have already discussed this. That's why I'm asking you. What is the magnitude and what is the direction of a pseudo force? Magnitude of the pseudo force is, okay, instead of understanding or trying to remember the magnitude of this pseudo force, let us first take an example of why Newton's laws are not valid and why do we need to apply pseudo force. Let us take the example of this lift, the blue lift. I still remember I made 3 Spider-Men hanging and those spiders were making the equations of motions. I don't remember. I don't know. How did I miss it? I remember it, that we have done this. I don't know how you don't remember it. Anyways, but telling me that you don't remember it, must be 3 Spider-Men were hanging and they were making equations. That was in the last class. Anyways, now this is a lift which is moving upwards with a constant velocity v, or I can say that it is at rest. Doesn't make any difference because moving with a constant velocity v or being at rest in physics are same. Now I make the equations of this block. One is the red Hulk. I still remember red Hulk, which is here. And the other equation will be made by the green Hulk, who is on ground. Now, this green Hulk is given the task of making the equation. So what does he do? He said, okay, I will draw my free body diagram. He draws tension upwards, weight of the block mg downwards, and he sees that the lift is moving upwards with a constant velocity v. So the block is also moving upwards with a constant velocity v. It is not accelerating. Acceleration is 0. The block is in equilibrium. So whether it is at rest or moving with a constant velocity is the same thing. Yes or no? Do we understand this? Since the block is moving with a constant velocity or it is at rest, it is still in equilibrium. In equilibrium, forces should equate, forces should be equal. There is no force on the x-axis. There are only force on the y-axis. Upward force is T, downward force is mg. The equation that he makes is P equates mg. This is the equation that the Green Hulk makes from an inertial reference frame because he is standing on ground. Do we understand this? Yes or no? So that is the equation that the Green Hulk makes. What about the Red Hulk? Red Hulk also knows Newton laws. He's also my student, so he knows how to apply Newton's law. So what does he do? He sees, okay, red tension T up, red mg downwards. Now, when he's inside the lift, as I told you in relative motion also, when you are sitting on a bus or on a bike or in a lift or a car or a train, nothing else, you don't move, everything comes to you. When you are sitting in a train, you always ask, Hyderabad kab aayega? When will Hyderabad come? Hardly people ask, when will the train reach Hyderabad? You'll always say, when will Hyderabad come? As that Hyderabad is moving and train is stopped. Train is not going anywhere. Hyderabad is coming towards us. Does not happen that way. Train actually moves and goes to Hyderabad. But it's a very simple thing that we have told you, that I've told you. When I am sitting on a bus, I am not going anywhere. So what he does is, he says, okay, he doesn't know what is happening in the outside world. As I told you, if you are blanked from everywhere, don't see your surroundings, you should not be able to, or you would not be able to make out whether you are at rest or moving with a constant velocity. And if you are tied, you don't feel any jerk. You will not even find out whether you are accelerating or not. I gave you an example of the metro and the maglev trains in Germany. They are moving with very fast speed, but they don't have any vibration, no shaking. And if you blank all the windows, you will not be able to make out whether you are moving or at rest. In an aeroplane, when the aeroplane is moving, there are no winds. You will hardly understand whether you are in a moving thing. You will just forget and you will just stay calm. He doesn't know what is happening inside outside the world. So he sees T, he sees mg. He obviously sees that this block is in equilibrium. So what is the equation that this Red Hulk writes? He also writes T is equal to mg. Both the equations, as you can see, are same. This is made from a non-inertial reference frame, NIRF. Oh, this is also made from a inertial reference frame because the lift is not accelerating. As you can see, the green equation and the red equation, both are same. Both are same. Let me take another example of this brown lift. Now this brown lift also has a mass m, but this brown lift now accelerates with an acceleration a upwards. Now again, I have the two gentlemen. The first is the Green Hulk standing on ground. The second one is his twin, Red Hulk, in the lift. It is moving upwards. Now the Green Hulk, he knows how to make equations, so he makes an equation. He writes T upwards, mg downwards, free body diagram. There is no force on the x-axis, so forget about the x-axis. Now I ask him, Green Hulk, please make the equation for the block. Now remember, what does Green Hulk see? He is on ground, inertial reference frame. He sees T upwards, mg downwards, but he does not see the block at rest. He sees the block moving. Now he also sees the block moving in the first case, but in the first case, the block was moving. If it was moving with a constant velocity. It was still in equilibrium. But here, as you can see, it is moving upwards with an acceleration a. Now he writes equation. What does he write? He writes T upwards, mg downwards, acceleration a upwards. So the equation that he will write will be T upwards minus mg, which is downwards, is equal to MA, which is upwards. This is the equation that the Green Hulk writes. This is the equation written from inertial reference frame. Do we understand this? T upwards, mg downwards, A upwards, upwards minus downwards is equal to MA. This is the equation that they write. Am I clear? Am I clear? Can I have some reason that we understand this? Now, when you come to the red one is inside the lift, so he doesn't know what is happening in the outside world. He's accelerating, he's moving with a velocity, he is blanked out. He doesn't know anything. So what does he see? He sees that the tension T is upwards, weight mg is downwards, and he is in the lift world. In the lift world, the lift doesn't go anywhere. See, the earth is also rotating on its axis. The earth is also revolving around the sun. But for us, the earth doesn't go anywhere. We don't see earth moving, right? Because we are on earth. He is in the lift. He doesn't understand what is happening in the outside world. If you go outside earth, you will understand that the earth is revolving and rotating. But if you are on earth, you don't understand it. He also feels the same. The lift doesn't go anywhere. The lift doesn't accelerate. The lift doesn't move with the constant velocity. What is the equation that he writes? He will write T upwards is equal to mg downwards. This is the equation written from a non-inertial reference frame because the frame is accelerating. Now, these two equations, the green one and the red one, cannot be same, cannot be different. They have to be same. Now, which equation is correct? You can very well say that the green equation is correct. The red equation is incorrect. So as you can see, the red equation is wrong because it is written from a non-inertial reference frame. I have to correct it. So what do? I apply an additional force. The yellow one. Now, how is additional force applied? Remember, this acceleration is upwards. Your yellow will not. Orange is good. Acceleration is upwards. So the direction of this pseudo force is downwards. It is opposite to the direction of acceleration. So it is opposite to acceleration. Do we understand this? It is opposite to the direction of acceleration. Acceleration is upward, so pseudo force is downward. Do we understand this? Can I have some reason that we understand this? Acceleration is upwards, pseudo force is downwards. If acceleration would be downwards, pseudo force would be upward. So pseudo force is downwards. Now look at the magnitude of this pseudo force. The magnitude of this pseudo force is mass of the block m into a, acceleration of the reference frame. So this is how I get the value of or the magnitude of this pseudo force, mass of the body multiplied by the acceleration of the frame. So the value of pseudo force becomes MA. MA is downwards. Remember, this is not a real force. This is an imaginary force, unreal force. Now, what does this gentleman see? Remember, he does not still see that the block is accelerating. He still sees that the block is in equilibrium. He still sees that the block is in equilibrium. He still sees that the block is in equilibrium. Do we understand this? He does not see the block accelerating. He will see the block in equilibrium. We understand this, yes or no? He still sees that the block is in equilibrium, but now he knows that he is in a non-inertial frame. T is upwards, mg is downwards. Both are real forces, but I have to apply an additional force downwards, which is pseudo force m into a. He still sees the block in equilibrium, so upwards must be equal to downwards. So this is the new equation that he makes. T is equal to mg plus ma. Remember, he still sees the block in equilibrium. So he is still writing F net is equal to 0. He's writing the equation in this form that net force is 0. He's writing the equation in this form F net is 0. But how is this gentleman writing the force? He's writing the force as F net is equal to mass into acceleration. Do we understand the difference between the two equations? The first equation is still written for equilibrium with an additional force. The second equation is written in Newton's second law, where F net becomes equal to ma. Do we understand this? Do we understand this? Abhiram, did we did this in the last class or not? Again, I'll ask you the same question. But again, I feel that we have done this in the last class. I remember that because I could not put your class notes, so no one thought of revising it. That is why you have forgotten it. I could not put the class notes because my laptop had gone kaput. It did not work. That is why I could not put your class notes. And see, if I don't put your class notes, I'll have to repeat the entire class. This is not fair. Today it's working, so I'll try to put the class notes of the last class as well as this class. I hope you will not forget it now. Now let us take one more case where again I have this black mass m. Now it is moving downwards with an acceleration a. I have two gentlemen, the red Hulk and the green Hulk. How will they both write the equation? How will they both write the equation? Fatafat, tell me. How will the green Hulk and how will the red Hulk write the equations? The green Hulk, how will he write the equation? The red Hulk, how will you write the equation? The green Hulk, tension T is upwards, mg is downwards, and he sees acceleration is downwards. Downward acceleration is a, downward force is mg, upward force is t. So how will you write the equation? Mg minus t, mg is downwards, t is upward, is equal to ma, which is downwards. Do we understand this equation? The green Hulk equation. This is written from an inertial reference frame, which is ground. Yes or no? Yes or no? How does the red Hulk write the equation? He sees tension T upward, he sees weight mg downward. These are the two real forces. So he will see, but then someone tells him, oh, you are in a non-inertial reference frame. So he tells me, okay, what is the direction of acceleration? I tell him it downwards. So what does he do? He applies the force upwards because it is opposite to the direction. Then he asks, what is the value of acceleration? I tell him acceleration is a. Then he sees what is the mass. Mass is m. So the value of pseudo force becomes m into a, mass into acceleration, which is upwards. Remember, he still sees that the block is in equilibrium. He writes upwards is equal to t plus ma. ma is the pseudo force. T and ma are upwards. mg is downward. He still sees the block in equilibrium. He still sees the block in equilibrium. He writes the force from non-inertial reference frame and he has added the pseudo force. Do we understand this? Do we understand this? Both the equations, as you can see, are same. One equation is written as F net is equal to 0, which is the non-inertial reference frame. The second equation we have written F net is equal to ma. Do we understand this? Yes or no? Do we understand this? Yes or no? Can I have some reason that we understand this, sir? Okay, then I'll wind off this class today here. I will try to find out the notes of the last class. My laptop has gone, so I'll have to find out, see how I get there. I'll get those notes for you. And I hope that you remember this class. The next class we'll move further ahead and see questions on pseudo force, which I was planning to do today. Anyways, I hope you like the class, and if you have any doubt, please feel free to ask me. I'll now wind off this class. If you have any doubt, please ask.